Today's episode is brought to you by Smith Bregato of Fairfield, Iowa, Hinshaw Trailer Sales of Richland, Iowa, the Packwood Locker, and the Cedar Rapids Titans, who start their season on Sunday at 5 o'clock on Round Guy Radio as they take on the Midwest Raptors. We've got Coach Korbakis, whose team already had set the record with 7 wins, and he put his 8th win on the board last night. Welcome to the program, Coach.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dave.
So you played Cardinal last night. Let's kind of go over it. I know Ellis had a pretty big game last night.
Yes, sir. Ellis got going for us early, and he was playing aggressive and transition, and it was nice to see a few shots go down for him, and it kind of just led the way for a big first quarter for us. And I believe we were able to get out of that first quarter up 16 points, something like that. Maybe it was 23 to 10. Maybe it was 13 points. Maybe it was 28 to 10. I don't know. It was one of the two, but we're able to get to a good start and kind of give ourselves a good head start to the game and make us feel comfortable, make us feel confident, and we were able to kind of weather the storms when they were fighting back.
Well, it's been a while since you had a win. What is this? How much momentum do you feel like that gives you coming into tonight's game?
It means a lot. I mean, it was definitely a vocal point at halftime to the guys, and I really just sent the message to the guys, and I sent the message to the seniors on my team, and I wasn't hard on them, but I was really real, and just was setting the standard to them and making sure they understood that, hey, we need to go and take care of this. This is something that we can do, and man, I actually had a goal for the guys to hit 70 points, right? We had 36 at halftime. I said, man, we're going to hit 70 tonight. We're going to hit 70. And we were able to end the game with 74 points. And if you can get 74 points in any game, you should win that game, And so we put ourselves in a good spot.
So what was you played? Tell our listeners who you played and what the final score was.
We played Cardinal last night down in Eldon, and it was a very hostile environment, man, and it was fun. It was exciting. It was their senior night, and a lot of the parents towards the later of the game, they finally started letting their voice be out and letting it be heard to me, and they were talking a lot, and I'm for that. I like a competitive spirit, and I turned around and I looked at them and I said, "Come on down here, let's talk then if you guys want to talk." And 5 parents ended up getting thrown out for Cardinal, and it was just an exciting game, and it was, I don't know, it's something that you want to be a part of near the end of the game, and you want to compete, and I just want the boys to know I got their backs always.
Sound like a rough and rowdy night. I kind of like it. Well, I got some breaking news here for everybody here. The first bit of breaking news is we got a doubleheader on Round Guy Radio tonight, and it's going to be a JV varsity doubleheader with L&M as you go for your 9th win. 7 was the record. You're sitting at 8. You got a real good chance at 9 tonight. And I got a little more breaking news here. Coach Korbakis is the first-year Coach of the Year here on Round Guy Radio for his record-setting performance. Congratulations to you, Coach, on the award there.
Hey, I really do appreciate you and just putting my name out there for that, and it's all credit to the guys, Ivan, just buying into what we're trying to do and what we're trying to build.
Well, it was an outstanding year. It was clearly, just an outstanding performance and a record-setting performance. Let's talk a little bit about L&M. There's a kid named Rickenberger, I think, that's a pretty good player they got, but the main guy is Finnegan Klein's little brother, Oscar. He's had some big performances. What are you going to have to do to hold these guys down tonight?
I mean, really, I think it just comes down to understanding that Oscar's going to get his shots, and I don't know what that 20 points is going to look like. It could look like a lot of shots, or it could look like very few. And I would say we want those shots to be tough shots, and if we can control the head, I mean, we'll be all right, I think. But it's really credit to Oscar and what he's been doing for his team, and he's really their guy. And if he gets going, he's going to get going. And their guys follow, and they're confident. Just they build confidence as Oscar's playing, and so we just got to be mindful of that and understand that we went to their place earlier in the year and we got after it at their place. We sent a message. The energy was really live and at LM, and so it's a rivalry game tonight, and they're gonna bring their juice, and they've been not so fortunate on the win side of things this year as to where we've maybe gotten a few more, and they're going to be real hungry to get a win, and especially just being on the road. I mean, they're going to be wanting to get after it going into the playoffs, and so we want to keep what we got going and build momentum off last night and carry that into tonight. And I'm really looking forward to it, and I think it will be the outcome that we want, and this should be a good game.
Well, tonight's game, the JV game, we're going to flip it around a little bit. The JV game is going to be on Facebook, and the varsity game is going to be on YouTube. And moving forward by the baseball season, we'll be all YouTube all the time with about everything. But tell me a little bit about maybe some of the other performers besides Ellis who helped you get this win.
Yeah, I mean, it was a total team effort. Like, I can think of Gabe, I can think of Drake, I can think of Drew, Fritz Figueroa. He hit two big threes late in the fourth quarter last night, and I mean, man, it was a team effort. And Jamar and Elliot, like, it was literally everyone, and we were able to finally open up our transition game. I feel like we've been lacking that the last few weeks of this season, and that's kind of been our identity to those early starts in the first quarter when we do hit 28 points or 23 points or 24 points. Like, we are more than capable to score 20 points a quarter. And so if we can get more consistent at those things and not fouling and slowing the momentum down, we'll be in a good spot.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Fritz Figueroa. He was a player that I've been kind of watching here in the last few games that I've seen. He seemed like the guy that was determined to get to the basket. He doesn't always score, but he always makes a hell of it. He's got a big body and he pushes his way in there, and he gets to the bat. Was getting to the boards. Why has he been kind of a reinsurgent force there for you here in the second half?
He's a physical presence, right? And maybe he doesn't have the size, but if he's got that 6'3" guy on him, he's not moving Fritz. And so it gives us just more depth in the rotation for Drew and Gabe, and them three able to rotate and get a lot of minutes and know that they're going to play a lot just because they're our bigs. And I mean, Fritz is part of our three-headed snake, and Drake and Ellis, man. They were three sophomores last year that played 50 to 60% of the games, like percent of the game in the game, right? And so they're a big piece to what we're building. And man, dude, just even thinking about next year with them being seniors, it's going to be an exciting year, and it's going to be exciting season at the end of the season this season. And I feel like we're trying to get to the best basketball we can, and it was real refreshing to get a win last night and just feel like we are a winning team and get back to those roots of winning. And so,
well, you got a big road win last night. You're going to try to. I'm sure the gym's going to be electric tonight for the home game to try to finish this season off. But let's take a little time to kind of talk about the overall season. Tell us about maybe some single game performances where guys really had good games, and maybe, kind of who's been leading the way in scoring and rebounding and assists and steals and blocks and all those statistical categories.
I would say Ellis and Drake have been our guys. They've been our scorers, and they're kind of our voice. And Fritz is slowly but surely coming along to that and being a team player and understanding what he needs to do to affect the game. And I can think of Elliott just being a defensive factor, and sometimes he's a loose cannon on the offensive side where he gets downhill and makes plays, and it's real beneficial to us. And I can be hard on him and just controlling the controllables, but at the end of the day, I trust him and I believe in him. And Drew and Gabe, man, they've been glue guys all year for us, and they've done the dirty work. They've done the selfless plays, the box outs, the tip outs, the offensive rebound to a kick out three for Drake or Ellis. Like, those are really selfless plays, and you need those for a winning team. And I couldn't be more thankful for them and Jamar and Miguel and Caleb and Connor and Ruben and Brayden and all those guys too. Like Miguel, I mean, he's been such a good kid this year. He's a senior, and he's a threat, man. And so hopefully I'm hoping he gets in the game tonight and impacts the game in some sort of capacity. And maybe it's a three ball, maybe it's an offensive rebound. I don't know what that looks like, but just really wanting to impact the game. And Ellis had 44 earlier on in the year, and he had a big night last night. And Drake hit 8 threes in one game against LM earlier in the year. And so just knowing that Drake has that confidence going into the night, and Ellis had like 20 going last time against Ellen. So it's nice to know that my head guys can feel confident just going into tonight, feel confident about shooting the ball. And it's just nice that guys are looking for our guys, right? Like guys are understanding that, hey, I'm looking for this on a one more. If he's got that one more pass, or I'm trying to hit Drake in transition for that corner three, get him going early, get him an easy look. And we like to run, we like to go, and we just like to we like to bring the energy, and we're about it. So.
Well, one of the guys, and not just for your team, but one of the guys I like to say for all the teams that I've had that comes off the bench that sparks you is Miguel. He's been pretty good for you coming in and giving you some energy and giving you some points. And let's talk a little bit about him.
He's a great kid, man. I was really fortunate to get to coach him last year. He was my point guard on JV last year all year, and I was really able to build a good connection with him and trust in him. And I wish I could get more minutes for him sometimes, but sometimes it just doesn't go that way. And honestly, I just want to give a big shout out to Coach Mike and what he's been doing. And last night he actually did the sub rotation for me, so I was just focused on coaching basketball and being locked in that category. And he had some great subs late and some great subs early, man. Some guys got in foul trouble, and he was able to get some guys in there. And I don't know, it just seemed like everyone was in a rhythm, everyone was connected, and there was times where I made some subs too. Don't get me wrong, but he was the head of the snake of that last night, and I couldn't ask more for an assistant to help out like that. And he did a great job, and it makes my job a lot easier coaching the game during the game.
All right, tell me, you had a very successful season. It's going to wrap up tonight. You're going to finish, somewhere around 8 wins. 6 was about the most you'd had in about 30 years. You've already got the record. You expanded on it last night. Maybe you can finish out this year with a win that would bring you some momentum into the playoffs. But can you tell us who you drew in the playoffs, when that game is?
We got Durant this upcoming Monday, and we got to watch out for number 0. He kind of seems like to be their guy. He's a sophomore, and so he's got to be a skilled ball player if he's a sophomore doing what he's doing. He's got, I think, 43s on the season, and so they got a few guys that have hit 33s this year already this season, and so we just got to be mindful of those guys. And I'm actually going to hopefully get on the phone with Mid Prairie either today or tomorrow and talk to their coach, just because they got a little bit more familiarity with Durant, and they've seen those guys a little bit more. And I'm lucky to have coached a lot of the guys at Mid Prairie to have that connection with them, and so I can just reach out to them and text them about them and just see what they're about, and hopefully we can get a good little understanding of what they like to do in their schematics, and just feel good about Monday. And it was ideal, it's kind of what we expected going into the season. We were trying to get ourselves that 4 or 5 seed, and obviously we got to be realistic about it. We want to be that 1 to 4 seed, obviously, in the future, and that's the goal. But I was pretty realistic about, looking at the schedule and seeing how we could place ourselves. And I mean, hey, we just wanted a chance, and we got that chance. And so why not just make the most of it, guys, and get after it on Monday? And I mean, we're the underdogs. Even LM, I'm pulling for LM, man. We're 2A schools playing in a 1A conference all year, and all we play is 1A teams, and then they want to put us in 2A for playoffs. Make sense, but it's okay. We're gonna get after it, and we're gonna be about it. So that just gives me motivation to get after it and beat one of these teams, because at the end of the day, we are a 2A school, but you walk into our gym and you walk into Mid Prairie's gym, it's complete different gyms, and so we're going to get after it.
Yeah, Mid Prairie is what I like to describe them as, out on an island. You play all the round guy radio teams, and Pekin plays all the round guy radio teams, and but they're in this River Valley Conference or River something conference out there, and they're the only team around here, and they never really play a whole lot of games. Although they played Fairfield last night and really spanked them. They got some good players up there. I'm glad you mentioned them a little bit. But, well, Coach, I guess that's all we got for you. I don't really have any more questions. You got the big playoff game coming up. You got the big game last night. You got the big win last night. Congratulations on an outstanding season, and congratulations on being the first-year coach of the year for Round Guy Radio. And was there anything we didn't get a chance to talk about that you want to talk about?
No, I just want to appreciate you and all the coverage you do this year and this season, and give a big shout out to the Columbus community, and give a big shout out to Coach Mike and what he's been doing for us and what he's been doing for me. And we've really been getting after it this year, and I couldn't be more thankful to go to battle with a guy like that, and for him to have my back last night, even with the situation with the fans and all that, it's just appreciated. And I wouldn't be able to do it without him, and I wouldn't be able to do it without the Columbus support. So,
well, we've had a lot of exciting games from JV games from Columbus this year, and I wanted to tell you guys that the JV game between Waco and Columbus was the absolute best game, varsity or junior varsity otherwise, we had all year long. Maybe it wasn't the highest rated, but it was an overtime game, and it was an exciting game. And my man Tyson there, Iron Mike, I call him, he had a big game and led you guys to a win. And we'll be looking forward to. I've seen L&M's JV. It's basically their varsity team, but they got some good players. So I'm looking for a pretty good game tonight. And like I say, the first game will be on Facebook, and the varsity will be on YouTube. Thanks for spending some time with us. Good luck tonight, and good luck in the playoffs.
hey, thanks for having me. You did it.